What's up, guys? It's your boy Bilo back again, and this is going to be the, if not one of the, or if not the last video of 2017 for me. As some of the other YouTube guys are also doing 2017 year-end videos, this will be mine. 2017 was a big year for me and my wife. We had moved from Houston, where we had lived for almost 3 years, about 1,000 days, 1,026 days we lived in Houston. I worked for an oil company, and during the oil downturn, it was probably one of the hardest things in my life to survive, living in a situation where my company was laying off thousands of people weekly. At the very beginning of the downturn in 2014, when we had first moved to Houston, right as the downturn happened, they were laying off 10,000 people a week, and then it slowly slowed down to like 1,000, and then down to hundreds of people, and then 2.5 years later, before I left, they were laying off groups and groups and groups of people. So I didn't get laid off. Thank God for that. I was able to survive and maintain my status at that job, and then I just walked away. A new opportunity opened up in DFW, so my wife and I took the chance, so we moved to DFW, and that's where we're at now. We live in DFW, and I got a different company. Things are a lot better, a lot higher pay, a lot more job security, that kind of thing. And so we've been here in the DFW area since September, like September 11th, I think, is when we got here. September 8th when we got here. And before we had left Houston, I had to kind of right-size my guitar inventory and other things. So we got rid of a lot of stuff. I sold a lot of guitar pedals. I had a lot of guitar pedals. And leading up to that, I had just purchased the Helix, right? And so with the Helix LT that I got and Native that I got, I just started getting rid of guitar pedals because I'll keep some amps and I may sell a few amps, but everything I need is inside guitar. I'm inside Helix, so there was really no need for me to have an inventory of $2,000 worth of guitar pedals when I can just start liquidating some of that material, right? And so that's what I did. I began to get rid of guitar pedals, and through the through the Facebook Marketplace, I was able to get rid of about $1,000 or so worth of guitar pedals real quick. And we're talking like some Boss pedals, nothing really major. I kept my Archer, I kept, my Satriani wah, my Digitech whammy, I kept my EP booster. I kept the major ones, like the 10 major guitar pedals that you never want to really get rid of, like I said, my Archer, which is a clone. But I got rid of some of the smaller, like cheaper middle range pedals. And by doing that, I did a lot of trades. And so, for example, this guitar is, I believe, a Palomino Telecaster built by GFS with, I believe, a Warmoth neck, a tinted vintage neck. And so I traded like 2 guitar pedals for this guitar. And then I've since done my own thing to it. I kept the Rio Grande pickup, but I put a Dragonfire Fat Screamer thing in the neck single. Got a different scratch plate. Rewired the electronics, reconfigured the electronics in there with a lot of soldering, and I was able to get a really awesome guitar tone for something that I was interested in, more so than what, because it originally just came with just this pickup, right? It didn't have a neck pickup. So that's a full size, by the way, Stratocaster neck pickup. So I had to get a plate specifically for that, and I got that from GFS. This is a very light guitar, a very resonant guitar. It's one of my favorite ones now. Really awesome guitar. 2 guitar pedals for this. And then this is... You all right? Yeah. I'm just recording, okay? I'm recording. Cool. What are you gonna do? So along the same line of GFS guitars, this is also a GFS Palomino, light body from GFS. I sourced all the parts for this, including the neck. This is a Squire neck, which I, sanded the brand name off of. Put pickups in it, so I went with just a telly set from Dragonfire. So this is like a fat telly. with a clear pick guard. I wired everything in here, bought all the pieces, the Wilkinson brass saddles bridge going on in there. Pretty awesome piece of gear. This is a very light guitar as well. A little out of tune, but it's very resonant too with the whole Palomino thing going on. So, you know, my inspiration for getting and building this guitar was this original teal telly that I picked up from Guitar Trade with pickups, right? And then for my birthday in 2017, so this is unrelated to the move, I had, you know, received some gift cards, you know, like $100 gift cards from my parents, my wife's parents, something like that. So I had like $200 worth of gift cards. And I went to the Guitar Center in Houston over there off of, well, it's like one of the newer ones. I think it was off Westheimer, possibly. I don't remember where exactly. But so this is a Squier with a really sharp sparkle, right? And so this is like my birthday guitar for 2017. I bought a came with a rosewood neck, and I had purchased separately a maple neck, and you know, I'd sanded off the name. You can see how it kind of changed the tint. So I'll probably put a different name on there, like, I don't know, maybe my own name on there. And then I bought Dragonfire pickups for this, so we have like a duo single rail. This is actually the stock pickup that came with it, and then this is a Dragonfire fat Strat pickup. Rewired everything, changed the capacitors, put foam in the back, and as you can tell, it's a very sparkly red. And so this is like my, you know, I always wanted a red Strat, and so this is my red Strat, right? Pretty awesome guitar. I love this guitar quite a bit. Actually sanded down the neck and the back to get rid of that finish. And this is probably one of my main guitars now, just because of the sparkle, and I got that Pearloid pickguard to match it. I actually had rewired all the electronics, and you know, just did everything I wanted it to be. And so now this thing is like my main favorite sounding guitar, just because it has a lot of, you know, sentimental value. Like I said, my wife's parents gave me gift cards, and I was able to just get this basically for free, with the exception of the pickguard, the neck, and then the pickups, which I just, you know, picked up for $20, $30 a pop. Next up is this guitar. So this is a Squier for real, classic vibe or vintage modified jazz, or yeah, Jazz Master. And the only thing I've done to this guitar is just change the neck. So I got this tinted vintage maple neck from eBay from like a Chinese wholesaler here in the States over there by Houston. So if you just type in like, you know, Fender maple neck and sort by cheapest, you'll find the people in Houston who are selling these, or in California also, who are selling these for like $24, $25 each. I picked up 4 of these necks to retrofit several of my guitars because, you know, a Stratocaster, Squier, Fender guitar needs to have, in my opinion, a maple neck. So, you know, if you look at my guitar picture that I have set up, like in several of my videos, the top row is all rosewood, Gibson, you know, like Super Strat style, and the bottom row of guitars is all maple neck, Strats, you know, Fender types, F-type guitars. This is a really awesome guitar because it has these, you know, the vintage modified, really cool Jazz Master pickups. So they're like a fat telly single, not telly, fat soap bar, fat P90 single. And so I had traded some pedals for this guitar and got money, and then with the money I got for the pedals, I bought this off of Guitar Center used. And so I got this guitar with the original neck, which is in great shape, by the way. The original rosewood neck looks fabulous, with the, you know, the little tricked out name tag badging that the Squier Vintage Modified line gets. I got some money for some pedals that I sold. I think it was like a drive and a delay pedal. And I was able to use that money to go to Guitar Center used, and I picked this up for like $250 shipped to Louisville Guitar Center here in DFW. So it arrived perfect, the neck was perfect, everything is perfect, electronics are perfect, nothing sucks about this guitar. I just wanted a maple neck. I think F-type guitars should always have maple necks, and so that's what I did. I gave it a maple neck. So, you know, in all, this year has been an F-type year with a lot of Fender Squier type acquisitions and builds. I had enough Gibsons on the wall, some metal guitars, and I just really this year dove really hard into the whole Squier, Jaguar, Telecaster, Stratocaster feel. And so, like I said, the only thing I changed on this guitar was just the neck, and it's a great sounding. It's out of tune, but as far as like guitar tone goes, that guitar sounds fabulous because it has those soap bar-y, P90 style pickups, right? They're amazing. It sounds great. I really enjoy the dynamic touch and feel response that you get from a single coil, and that's why I've kind of been on a Squier, Stratocaster style jaunt in this whole year, is because I've just really fallen in love with single coil pickups. There's just something about humbuckers that I really don't like anymore. I can't really put my finger on it. It's not a Tonewood thing. It's not a Gibson thing. It's just a compression or the signal type thing. So next up is this guitar. This is my project guitar that I'm still working on. This is also a Palomino ultralight Guitar Fetish body. And so I picked this up for like maybe 40, 50, 60 bucks on GFS, Guitar Fetish website. I picked up a preloaded GFS pickguard, so everything is set up in here. I didn't do anything other than wire up the jack, which I haven't completed yet actually. I need to wire that. And this is one of the necks that I had picked up. This is one of the necks that I had picked up from eBay. One of the, from the Chinese wholesaler here in the States, and it's pretty cool because it fit perfectly in there. It has the right tinted gloss feel that I like, and then I was able to sand down the back gloss, and there's there's nothing wrong with the nut. The leveling of the nut of the neck looks perfect. I just need to get some tuners for this. I'm going to get some locking style, probably some Goto tuners or something, or some Schaller locking tuners. And then I haven't decided what kind of bridge. I want to get a 2-point, but I think the wood's a little too thin to anchor a 2-point properly. And so I'll probably just get a 7-point bridge. And I just haven't done that yet. I got other projects going on that keep interfering with this. And honestly, when I do this guitar build, I want it to be done and perfect because it's such a beautiful specimen. So this is like the sister, Paisley of Guitar Finish. So Guitar Fetish has the Telecaster in both of these tones, and it has a Stratocaster, I believe, in both of these tones. And so they're kind of like, brother-sister guitars here. And I have really high hopes and expectations for this blue one. And I'm just kind of taking my time with the build to get it right 100%. All in all, I'm probably out like 80, 90 bucks on this guitar so far. And when I do buy the bridge, it'll be $100 for the bridge, and then the whole thing with the back whammy bar situation going on there, and then the tuners, so like another 40, 50 bucks. So I still need to put like 150 bucks on this guitar to finish her off, and I'll do that in 2018. I've just kind of, like I said, had this hanging on the wall as a really beautiful paint job. And a lot of people actually comment like, hey, what's the story on that blue Paisley? What's that all about? And it's like, oh, it's not done yet. It's just kind of it's work in progress. I'll have this done in 2018 for sure. Alright, so this next guitar isn't actually a buy from 2017 or an acquisition in 2017. I actually purchased this guitar. It's actually this is a Squier Bullet Stratocaster body that was in the Seafoam Aqua color, right? And so I already have another Stratocaster with an Aqua Seafoam, and then I have this Telecaster with an Aqua Seafoam. So I didn't, well, I'll tell you about the other one here in a sec. So anyways, this was a Bullet Seafoam, and they go for like 100, 200 bucks. I got this actually in 2011. Way out of tune. This is the Dragonfire Guitars Fat Strat pickguard, with the aged cream bits, and then of course the vintage Pearloid pickguard. And then this beautiful purple. So what I did is I bought Rust-Oleum, like a flat finish, and I literally just cleaned the guitar. I took the guitar apart entirely, and I cleaned it with Dawn soap, and then yeah, so I used Dawn soap to sterilize the guitar and get all the oils off it, and then I took another layer of Windex, and I Windex cleaned the guitar really well, let it dry for a day, you know, with it completely taken apart. Then I bought that Rust-Oleum flat purple color, like a plum color, and I just went out to my balcony and just spray painted this son of a bitch with a separate cap piece that goes onto the spray can, so you can actually get like a trigger situation going on there, and this really made it easy for me to get a flat spray painting going on. And so that's what I did. I changed the pick guard, the pickups, I changed the neck. This is another one of those Chinese, you know, off a boat, wholesale $25 necks. Like I said, I bought 4 or 5 of these necks because I've been retrofitting some of my Strats with them. Because I just believe that Strats really should have a maple neck. I don't think Strats should ever have a rosewood neck. So this isn't, I didn't buy this in 2017, but I modified it and retrofitted it and gave it a whole new painted color in 2017. And this has become one of my other favorite guitars because of the fact that it's got an awesome just sound, resonance, and just color and look. The purple is amazing. So a lot of pastels into it, a lot of reds, pastels, and other colors. Next up is this guitar. I actually picked this up while I was still in Houston. This is one of the last guitars I got. I think this teal one and this other one I'm going to show you that's over there here in a second were the last guitars, but this was like probably one of the last, so like one of the last 2 or 3. This is, as you guessed it, a vintage modified, or it might be the classic vibe. I think it's a classic vibe, like 60s Squire Stratocaster with a 3-tone burst, right? It's got an amazing finish. I picked this up at Guitar Center in Houston. I traded several pedals, like maybe 4 pedals, to get the $400 I needed for this guitar. And then simultaneously, Guitar Center had like that 15 or 25% coupon. And I was able to talk to Ronnie Main, the manager of Guitar Center over there on I-45 in Houston, Spring area. And I talked him into, you know, honoring that coupon for the Squire Classic Vibe, because the Classic Vibe, I don't think, or anything Squire, was originally part of the verbiage of the coupon. But he gave me the coupon. So I ended up picking up this guitar for like $350 or $325 or something like that, which was a great deal. I think it was like a 25% coupon. Yeah, this was in like the first week of September. So like I literally, the story is, when I got this guitar, I like that whole time I was moving and boxing up my house, and the Hurricane Harvey and all that thing had just gone down in Houston. I was selling furniture, I was selling, you know, guitar stuff, and I had just sold like 4 pedals in a row, like at lunchtime, and I had just enough money to buy this guitar. So Saturday I ran my ass down to Guitar Center with the coupon and picked it up, and my whole house was boxed up with the exception of a couch, like the TV, which was literally just plugged into the wall with Wi-Fi, that kind of thing. Like the whole house was boxed up, so I really couldn't even like hear how this guitar sounded because everything was boxed up. But luckily I had my laptop out, as you would, you know, it'd probably be one of the last things. You'd probably take your laptop when you move as a carry-on in your car, and that's what I did. And at that time I had already had a Helix Native, and so I was able to hear this guitar through Native, and I've never played this guitar through an amp. This guitar's only been played through Native. So I swapped out the neck pickup with the Dragonfire Fat Strat cream vintage looking. This is the original pickup that came with it, the middle, and then of course in the back here I have another Dragonfire. This is kind of like their vintage bucker, you know, like single coil double, you know, double thing, you know. So like it looks like a little 59 is what it looks like, right? Like a double stack, you know. And these are on Dragonfire website, Dragonfire Guitar Parts online, for like $17 blowout, and they are very mild pickups. Okay, this is a very mild pickup in comparison to like the Dragonfire Fat Neck. Like if the output on the Fat Neck is 10K, the output on this little pickup, the little JB pickup thing, is like maybe 7K. And it's very evident when you go from neck to bridge that the neck was way dominant. But that's part of the thing with Stratocasters, right? That whole 3 pickup thing, they're always kind of like that. With that being said, this is one of my favorite guitars, and I'm still on the bridge of, or still on the fence about, am I going to swap out this neck for a maple? I kind of like the Stevie Ray Vaughan vibe that it has on there, so I may not. So this will probably be one of my only Strats that still has a rosewood neck. One of my only F-type guitars with a rosewood neck. But this guitar sounds great. It has a very warm presence, right? Like whenever I plug other guitars in my single coil repertoire up and then plug this guitar in immediately after, this guitar is very warm, right? And you got to remember, I'm using the same pickups in most of these other Strat F-style guitars. With regard to the neck pickup, all my Strat F-style guitars have this neck pickup, with the exception of one over there. This Dragonfire Fat Strat pickup, they all have this same pickup. And other two have like this little JB style bridge pickup. And so whenever I switch back, you know, I can always feel like, oh wow, I just dropped a lot of decibel. I just dropped a lot of presence. I just dropped a lot of sound. Because, like I said, this little JB pickup back here, this little 59 bucker or whatever you want to call it, clone, has a very low output, which sounds great. Okay, so circling back on that, usually when you go to the bridge pickup, it sounds really tinny and just sounds like, I don't know, it's not a tone I like. You know, I am all about Strats because of the contour and the ergonomics and the customizability, right? But I always have hated sorry about that. I have always hated the bridge pickup in all Strats. I've always hated it, and that's why almost all of my Strats have a different bridge for sure, because I just can't deal with it. All right, let me get one more guitar. All right, so this is also one of the last guitars I picked up in 2017. This is a beat up. As best as I can tell, this was a Squire body that the guy repainted in the Daphne color. It's a flat Daphne. And I believe it is a Rust-Oleum paint job. It's just got like this waxy feel to the top that is not like a standard Squire style. Fender uses that poly, like this plastic almost shell on all their guitars. This guitar doesn't have it. I think he stripped this guitar down. I think the guy who owned this before me, I think he sanded everything down and then repainted it with like a Rust-Oleum flat Daphne Pelham blue look, right? And so the story of this guitar is I traded a pickup for this guitar. I mean a pedal for this guitar. I think it was actually like my Dark Matter. Yeah, so my TC Electronic Dark Matter, and then my big Hall of Fame pedals for this guitar. And it came with a custom pick guard with only a neck pickup. And this neck pickup, I believe, is a GFS neck pickup, and it sounds amazing. And like I said, it was a single pickup, neck pickup guitar with nothing here. Like it was just straight pick guard here. And it had one volume control, right? That was it. And then this neck. And this neck, I believe he said, was a Warmoth neck with that 70s style headstock, right? And he's got G Goto tuners, whatever G Goto means. Never heard of a G Goto. And one of these tuners is actually like not the right tuner. You see how it's got a rounded button top, whereas the other ones have like a squared top, right? Like this D tuner is a rounded one, so whatever. And then, you know, I sanded down the back of the neck to give it the wood finish feel, as opposed to like a lacquer finish or poly finish. And I replaced the pick guard. I got another one of those little Dragonfire little JB styles. I think it's called like a VM pickup, like vintage modified pickup, so it's like a little two single coils to put together. I'm not sure where I got this middle neck position, but this is this middle position, but the neck position is what came with the guitar, which is theoretically a GFS or probably something else. And so I haven't done anything to this guitar other than change this pickup and that pickup, right? And they're both Dragonfire replacement pickups. Big Dragonfire fan, you know, you get some great pickups for a great price. And this was my Daphne guitar, right? So you can tell the difference between Seafoam and Daphne, right? And so I had acquired this Telecaster in 2017, but this purple guitar, like I said, was originally, this purple guitar right there, was originally this Seafoamy color, right, that Squire had offered in 2011. And then this Daphne guitar I had picked up in 2017, and so I was sitting on 3 guitars that have like a seafoamy, teal, cyan, light blue, all the same hue, and so that was too much. And so I was not going to paint this guitar. I'm really happy with this Seafoam Telly. I was not going to mess with this guitar. I'm really happy with this Daphne Strat. That purple guitar was a Seafoam Strat, and so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and just paint that one purple, and then that'll be my purple guitar. I'll have a purple guitar, then I'll have this Daphne guitar, and I'll have that Seafoam guitar. Now there's another guitar that I'm not busting out yet because it's still a work in progress. It's actually another Jazzmaster. It's one of the Bullet Jazzmasters or Affinity or something like that. It's like one of those $99 Jazzmasters that is really not like anything special, right? It's a black Jazzmaster that doesn't have a floating bridge or anything like that. Two humbuckers, that kind of thing going on. And I traded that for a guitar pedal as well, like a distortion pedal, some cheesy ass distortion pedal I had. And the guy had that as a backup guitar to his main. And so I traded that dude a guitar pedal for that guitar, and then my intention with that guitar was to paint it pink. And that was my first time to paint a guitar, right, my own. And I made a mistake to it. There was a run. I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I imagine I'm going to have to sand the whole guitar to like a level plane on the top and the back and the sides, sand it all down, and then give it another paint. And so in 2018, that's going to be one of my projects in spring, because whenever I paint the guitar, I need it to be warm outside. I need to have a stable temperature set up, so I'm not going to be able to paint that in the wintertime. So be on the lookout in 2018, quarter 2, quarter 3, 2018, I'll have a pink Jazzmaster, which is something I've always wanted to have, is like a pink Jazzmaster or like a pastel Jazzmaster. And I believe Sir makes one, and I really want that guitar, but I'm not going to drop $2,000 on a guitar. I'd rather drop $2,000 on a Kemper, to be honest, rather than another guitar. And I'd rather just build my own guitars, source my own parts for guitars, and modify my own guitars rather than drop multiple grands on guitars. I already have enough over there in that room. You've seen in my previous videos how many guitars I have on that wall. So this is 8 guitars that I picked up in 2017, or like in the case of this purple one, I retro did, right? And then that one black Jazzmaster that's now pink but with the runs on it. That guitar is also a 2017 guitar. So like 9 guitars, 8, 9 guitars, depending on how you weigh in on the purple one here, that I picked up in 2017. And of course I picked up the Helix and Helix Native. And the Helix Native thing has like been a game changer and revolution for me in terms of my guitar playing, practice, application, and overall just enjoyment, right? Like for the longest time I was using amps in my closet, right? And an amp in my closet with microphones. In my previous videos when I lived in Houston are all about that. When I moved from Midland to Houston, I had said, okay, we're going to make a studio, and I want to have like an isolation cab or an isolation room. So I took my closet and put the amp up against the wall with speakers and microphones and a board running into the camera so I could capture the audio, which was great, but it's just cumbersome. There's so many variables when you're dealing with it that it was just a pain. And that also grounded me into that room, the guest room with the closet, etc. And so when I wanted to play guitar, I was always confined to that area of the house, doing it there. So with the Helix and the Native in particular, the Native I use a lot. I don't even use my Helix LT anymore, really. I primarily use my Native through Reaper. That has like freed me to play guitar anywhere. So another innovation that I had done in 2017, which you can't see because the camera, the microphone, the computer, the monitors are all on this tray. So I had picked up an Alienware R2 Alpha. And then I picked up the Line 6 G10 relay setup thing, right? and a couple of like boom arms for this microphone that I'm using. I also picked up this microphone in 2017. This camera I'm using I picked up in 2017. It's like a Logitech like C922X. The Aki wide-angle lens that I just have clipped on it. The audio interface, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo, the Focusrite 18i8, daisy chained into each other into the back of the computer, this Alienware Alpha I'm rocking right now, this TV that I'm using as my screen, which you can't see because the camera's not facing it, and then the tray that this whole computer thing is on wheels with the 15-foot or 12-foot power adapter, right? Power like surge protector situation. And then it has two JBL LSR 305s, right? So two of those side by side, running out of the and so I have a tray computer here, right? Everything is on this tray and it's removable. It's movable. It's a cart, 32-inch TV, very powerful computer for what I need. Audio interfaces, everything, so I can route all my audio to these wireless headphones. Picked up in 2017, Skull Candy headphones. To the this is like the Player Slayer headphone, I think it's called. Is that like Player Slayer 1 or 2? Running Bluetooth. The guitar is running Bluetooth. The whole rig is mobile on this cart, so I can wheel it into that room and do videos in there, or just do it right here. And this is one of the cool things about this innovation, is that I can actually do videos anywhere, right? I can do a video in the restroom, I can do a video in the kitchen, I can do a video on the patio, wherever I plug this mobile cart that everything is wireless and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on. I can put this, when I get a house, I can do it in my garage, I can do it in my backyard, I can just wheel this computer cart anywhere with native and all that. There's no amps, there's no microphones for the amps, there's no signal bleed or any of that, right? Like, it's just completely, it's like a big laptop on wheels, essentially. More than a laptop could ever hope to be. And a lot of processing power. So like when I'm processing my videos, because this came with a GTX 960 power, video card, like with my laptop, my Dell XPS 13 laptop, it would take me like 7 or 8 hours to render a 19, like a 2K video, right? At 40 minutes, it'd take me like almost all day to render that. But with this GTX 960 Alienware Alpha R2, it takes me like an hour to render that. So, like there was a lot of things that changed in the studio game for me in 2017 that are, part of getting to where I wanted to be. And where I wanted to be was wireless, away from amps, away from microphones and boards and all of that. Have a good enough tone coming out of a computer simulated software. So I was going to buy a TH2 or TH3, but then I got a Helix, and then Native came out, and then I got Native, and I'm stuck there. I'm happy with it. Innovated the guitar cart, as I call it. I play like Battlefront 2 on this cart. I'm sitting here, my TV's actually right here, and my wife sits right here on this couch, and she's watching House Hunters, and then I'm like sitting right there on my Lazy Boy, or right here on the floor, and this guitar, sitting in my lap, and the computer, the TV, like everything I want to do, like be part of the family and play guitar, I can do without bothering anyone, because I got headphone guitar going on right through the Native, and she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing, we're here together hanging out. So this is what I wanted. I wanted to have a solution to do that, and this is the way to do that, right? It took me a while to figure everything out and to piece everything, to get the funds to buy everything, and figure out how to do all the audio routing. At the very end, the hardest part was the audio routing. Was like, how do I capture my audio? Because incidentally, the Alienware R2 Alpha does not have a 3.5 millimeter output or input like most standard guitars or computers and laptops do, right? It doesn't even have like a TRRS, right? It doesn't have anything like that. So I had to like get a soundboard, a sound card, outbound, and so I'm essentially running 4 sound cards into this computer through a USB hub in order to route my signal from the Helix out, actually from the Focusrite Scarlett Solo in to the computer, into Reaper, out of the computer to my Focusrite 18i8 with this microphone paired and summed into mono, out of the 18i8 into a separate sound card, out of that sound card into my Skull Candy Player Slayer Wi-Fi thing going on, or Bluetooth headphones, into my thing, and then routing all the audio bits into the computer. So You know, I'm processing guitar signal in and out, running it through Reaper in a DAW, and then of course, you know, the native app, right? Guitar processor type situation. Outbounding that, summing it up with a microphone, outbounding that and summing that up, and back into the computer, running into OBS as a separate input. That's like everything guitar. And then the audio from the TV, from the computer itself, like whenever I play a backing track here in a minute, you'll hear, that's a separate line. That's why I had to get 4 video card or audio cards essentially. And then out into the headphones, which is its own sound card, back to me, right? And then of course the Wi-Fi, the wireless Bluetooth G10 situation, that's the start of my signal chain. And I wanted everything to be wireless, so I could just get up, go over there and come back, because when I had all my guitar amps and my wired microphone, my wired headphones, and the wired guitar, like I would be stuck where I was at. I would start making a video wherever I was doing it, and I had like this wire, that wire, the microphone wire. I had like four cables on me, and so if I got up or moved, I would be knocking things over because the things would get unplugged or damaged. It was so bad to like try to make a video that way. It was such a pain in the ass to do that. And so for me, and for 2018, I wanted to create a solution so I could play guitar at random, make more videos, more faster, better, butter, incorporate things like this picture-in-picture, as you can see, and then have, you know, display capture for the helix, and then display capture through the camera for me, and then so it's kind of like an instructional video, right? And I've been doing that and perfecting that, and I finally got it all set up to the way I want to do it. So when it comes to 2018, there will be tremendous amounts of videos coming out. I'll be making more and more videos, even just me playing guitar videos with no talking, playing along jam tracks as I get better and better. And that's another thing, right? Like ever since I got the helix and I started playing more and more, because I had to rely less on amps and all that, like I've been playing more and more, because like to get a signal to play along with your guitar amp through a board and all that, it's just such a pain in the ass, man. It's like, it is almost impossible, because then your guitar is too loud, or the amp, it doesn't mix well. And with the helix and YouTube and his jam tracks online, I discovered jam tracks online, the elevated jam tracks. I typically use all their stuff. You know, like the amount of playing and practicing, like just shut up and play, has like 10,000 times happened, right? And so, you know, being stuck in my other room playing guitar through an amp in the closet, and the inability really to integrate a jam track to play along with music, real music, not just me noodling for an hour or 30 minutes at a time, being uninspired because I'm stuck in a closet, you know, just being able to be free and mobile, integrate audio from YouTube and play along with a jam track, that has increased my skill, my enjoyment, my satisfaction, right? Like I'm satisfied when I play guitar that I'm getting better than I was. And you can tell I'm a lot better than I was last year and a year before and a year before, because I've made all these innovations to get better overall situation. So yeah, in 2018, based on all the innovations that I made, we're going to have a lot more output. So the channel, my YouTube channel, and I'm getting a lot more subscribers because, you know, you guys are digging my honest nature of hanging out. Appreciate you guys. You know, you guys are why I'm here. It's just growing, and it's growing on its own because the overall investment in time and in understanding and in practice has gotten better. And so it's been a great ride for 2017. Like I said, we changed jobs and moved to a different town, you know, from Houston to Dallas. That was a big deal. We had to mitigate all that, and then, you know, we're ready for 2018. We're ready for whatever adventures come our way. And you know, my wife's studio also received a lot of upgrades in 2017. You know, some cameras, some lights, some action, you know, background. You know, and that's just the other part of my life, right, is my wife's YouTube studio. And so, like, every day I come home from work and I help her edit a YouTube video of her makeup videoing, right? And so, even though I may not be doing things directly on my channel, I'm helping her with her channel. And having all of this set up has sped that up as well, right? It's made that so much easier for me to mitigate dealing with this Alien Alpha R2 thing going on here, Alienware. And so, you know, maybe at some point we'll upgrade her video and her studio situation a lot more to make it more easier for her to deal with, making more easier videos. But we got it down to a science, right? Like every day she goes in there and she does her makeup before work, and she records it. I come home, I cut up the video, and we post it on like a 1-minute short on her Instagram and her YouTube and her other social media things, her other social media channels. And you know, she's pushing out content like four to 5 videos a week, sometimes 5 videos a week, 3 videos at the least, right? 2 or 3 videos. So she's pushing out a lot of content, something like 2 to 5 videos a week, whereas I make 1 every couple of weeks because of the complexities. But now that I've solved that, I'll be able to make a lot more videos. So that's been this video here in 2017, coming to an end. Here we are on December 30th, and tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Be safe out there, guys. Don't get in any trouble. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, which is a lot. I don't do a lot. I kind of stay home, play guitar. Just be safe. Make it to 2018, and let's make 2018 a better year than 2017 was. Let's all learn more guitar together. Let's hang out together, and you know, I really appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe. You know, down in the comment section below, give me a holler, man. All right, guys, I'm out. That's been this video. Appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much.